Thank you so much for attending my PowerPoint presentation on every role in League of Legends explained. Each role in League thinks they're the main character, and you might think you understand each role, but you are wrong. And that's why in today's video, we're going to go over every role in League of Legends and completely explain them. First, we have the top lane. In the top lane, you're basically playing alone. You're tucked away in the corner of the map. Your team usually forgets you exist until you either carry the game or feed. In the 2026 season, this role is all about the role quest. You have to earn 1200 points to finish it. You get these points by killing minions or taking tower plates. You can also get them by fighting the enemy top laner. Once you finish that quest, everything changes for you. You get a massive lump sum of bonus experience. This lets you push past the normal level cap. Everyone else is stuck at level 18, but you can climb all the way to level 20. This makes you the most powerful unit on the entire map in the late game. Your job is to become a side lane monster. You win by forcing the enemy team to deal with you. You stay in your lane and you push the wave. You hit their towers over and over. If you win your 1v1 duels, you start absorbing so many resources. Eventually the enemy has to send 2 or 3 people to stop you. That is your win condition. When 3 people are chasing you through the jungle, your team is playing a 4v2 on the other side of the map. You are also the person responsible for the void grubs. These spawn at the 8-minute mark. You and your jungle need to secure those. You also need to grab the Rift Herald at 15 minutes. These objectives give your team the Touch of the Void buff. It lets you melt turrets in seconds. The champions here are usually fighters, tanks, or ranged lane bullies. If you pick a fighter, you are looking to fight your way through a 1v2. If you pick a tank, you are the front line your team needs. Then there are the ranged picks like Vayne or Kennen. Melee players have a whole meme about this. They like to say professionals have standards to mock anyone who brings a ranged character into the top lane. It is seen as a cheap tactic because it breaks the traditional 1v1 brawl. You need teleport mastery to be a good top laner. Teleport is your global tempo lever. It is how you show up to a fight across the map without losing your own tower. In the current season, completing your role quest gives you the Unleashed teleport spell for free. This adds a 3rd summoner spell to your HUD. If you already took teleport, the quest upgrades it instead. And now after a TP, you get a massive max health shield. It makes your arrival into a fight a genuine problem for the enemy team. The worst part about top lane is the feeling of being ignored. You can play perfectly, but it feels like it doesn't matter if your bot lane is losing. You are winning every trade and taking every plate while the rest of the map is on fire. But if you hit that level 20 power spike, you can usually just walk over the enemy team anyway. Top lane is about isolated pressure, and that pressure sets the stage for the rest of the map. In our next slide, we have the jungle. The jungler is the person who lives in the fog of war. You do not have a lane. You wander between the paths and clear neutral monster camps. You look for openings to gank. This role is a force multiplier. You can influence every single lane regardless of the matchups. Your income comes from slaying monster camps and fighting for the scuttle crab in the river. The scuttle crab is vital because it gives your team vision. It also creates a speed shrine. That shrine is a movement speed buff that helps your team rotate faster. Your main job is objective timing. You have to be there when the Baron Nashor spawns at 20 minutes, so you can secure the Hand of Baron buff for your team. You are also the one who has to secure Dragon Souls. You also have to manage the Phaelites along with supports. A successful jungler is not just killing monsters. You are tracking where the enemy jungler is at all times. You have to execute crab hunting to keep that river speed buff active. In 2026, the strategy has shifted. People are not as focused on epic monster gold because those rewards were reduced. Instead, Baron Nashor and the Elder Dragon give massive global experience. They also give much stronger buffs. It is more about the power than the gold now. Smite is your mandatory spell. You cannot play this role without it. The 2026 role quest makes Smite even better. Once you finish the quest, you can use Smite on enemy champions. It also gives you bonus movement speed whenever you are in the jungle or the river. Plus, the quest gives you a 10 bonus gold and 10 bonus experience from jungle camps. The champion classes in the jungle are pretty diverse. You have fighters who can duel and tanks who can initiate. You even have mages like Zyra and Talia. Each one brings a different style of pressure. A tank jungler might just walk into a lane and soak up damage. A mage jungler might catch someone from over a wall with a long-range spell. It all depends on how you want to multiply your team's power. The tilt factor for jungle is being the universal scapegoat. It is a meme at this point. If a laner dies in a 1v1, it is somehow your fault. If they lose their tower, they say it is because you did not gank enough. You are the person everyone blames when things go wrong. This happens even if you are on the other side of the map taking a dragon. It is a high pressure job. You have to ignore the chat and just focus on the smite timing. What you shouldn't ignore though is that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and now back to the roles. The mid lane is the hub of the entire map. It is the shortest path to the enemy nexus. This makes it the most active spot on Summoner's Rift. As a mid laner, you have solo access to gold and experience. Your position lets you reach any other part of the map faster than anyone else. Because of this, you are the primary playmaker. Your win condition is built around roaming. You push your minion wave into the enemy turret to create a timing window. Once that wave is gone, you disappear into the fog. You go gank a side lane or help your jungler secure a river objective. In the 2026 season, your role request requires 1350 points. When you hit that mark, the rewards focus on movement and map presence. You get a free tier 3 boots upgrade for any boot. This is a huge spike in mobility. You get back to the middle of the map before the enemy can touch your tower. It keeps the pressure at a maximum at all times. You are the person who keeps the map controlled. If you have mid lane priority, your jungler is safe and your side lanes have a backup plan. The champions here are usually assassins or mages. Assassins like Zed or Katarina want to find a target and burst them down. Control mages like Azir or Orianna want to command the space and win through big team fights. Faker ranked Ryze, Twisted Fate, Katarina and Aurora as the S tier picks for mid. He likes them because they have great wave clear. They also excel in the small skirmishes that break out in the river. If Faker says they are the best, you can bet the entire ladder is trying to play them. You need high map awareness for this role. You usually take Flash and Ignite if you want to kill your opponent. You take Teleport if you want to match the top laner. You have to watch the minimap more than the actual game. If you see the enemy jungler on a ward near bot lane, you need to be moving that way early. It is a balancing act. If you roam and do not get a kill, you might lose tower plates. You could fall behind in gold. It is a high risk and high reward. The tilt factor for mid is the mid or I feed mentality. Because the role is so important, people get very protective over it. It is frustrating to execute a perfect roam only to realize your opponent stayed in lane. They take 2 of your plates while you are gone. You feel like you are being punished for trying to be a team player. It is a role that requires you to be everywhere at once without losing your own ground. Mid lane controls the heart of the map, but the late game insurance policy is always waiting in the bot lane. The bot lane ADC carry is a ranged specialist. You are very weak in the early game. This is why you have a support glued to your side for 15 minutes. Your entire existence is about scaling. You need more gold than anyone else in the game. You are looking for those expensive legendary items. They turn your basic attacks into massive damage. In patch 26.1, almost every champion's base critical strike damage was increased to 200%. This is a massive buff to your late game power, which becomes 230% when you hit your Infinity Edge spike. Suddenly, you become the most dangerous thing on the screen. Your job description is sustained damage. While the mid laner looks for a quick burst, You stay in the fight. You shred through high health targets. You are vital for taking down Baron Nashor or the different territorial Baron forms. If you are not alive, your team probably is not taking those objectives. In team fights, your survival usually determines who wins. If you position well and keep clicking, the enemy team melts. But if you get caught by a single stun, you are probably dead in half a second. The 2026 role quest for ADCs is very strong. It gives you 300 gold, 2 bonus gold from minion kills, and 40 bonus gold from champion takedowns. This helps you reach those item spikes faster, but the big reward is a new 7th item slot. This slot is specifically for your boots. This means you could build a full 7 item set and still keep your movement speed. You essentially become a raid boss by the end of the match. Most of the time you are playing a marksman. Sometimes you will see ability power carries like Seraphine or Ziggs show up as flex picks. Positioning and farming are the only mechanics that truly matter here. You usually carry flash and heal to keep yourself alive. You have to stay at the very edge of your attack range. If you step 1 inch too close to a fighter, you are gone. It feels like the entire enemy team is constantly teleporting down just to dive you. You are the target everyone wants to hit first. They know how much damage you will do if they let you live. The tilt factor is the feeling of being powerless despite having a lead. ADC players often complain that they have the least impact in solo queue. You can be 5-0, but if an 0-7 enemy fighter gets on top of you, they can still kill you instantly. It feels like you have to play perfectly just to survive. Everyone else can make mistakes and still kill you. You are the most fragile person on the team. You depend entirely on the last role we need to talk about. And that is, of course, the support. The support is the only role that does not care about farming minions. You are actually discouraged from touching them. Your job is to facilitate everyone else. You win through utility, crowd control, and vision. You do not get gold from minions, so you use your support item for gold and vision. These items let you earn gold by poking the enemy. You can also share gold when your ADC kills a minion. You are not here to be the star. You are here to be the director. Your win condition is vision dominance. You are the master of the ward game. You use your sweepers to clear out enemy wards. You place your own control wards in high traffic choke points. You are the warning system for the team. If your team can see the enemy jungler coming, it is because you did your job. While the 2026 mechanics require everyone else to ward, you still lead the charge. You dictate the pace of the lane. If you land a hook or a stun, the fight starts. If you do not, your ADC just sits there and farms. Champions in this role fall into 3 main groups. You have enchanters who heal and shield. You have tanks who engage or peel. You also have damage mages who try to kill the enemy before they can touch your ADC. Then you have supports like Pyke or Bard. These champions love to roam. They leave the bottom lane to hang out with the jungler. They create 2v1 or 3v2 advantages in the mid lane or the enemy jungle. A good support is rarely just standing still in one lane for 20 minutes. Support players often view themselves as the only person playing correctly. There are countless memes about the support trying to keep the team together. You are the one pinging the map and warding objectives. You make sure your ADC does not wander into a dark jungle alone. The strategic depth comes from knowing when to leave your lane. If you can help your mid laner and your ADC, the game is basically over. The tilt factor for supports is when you try to help elsewhere and your ADC dies. If you leave the lane for 30 seconds to help with a scuttle crab, your ADC might die in a 1v2. You are definitely going to hear about it in the chat. There is a constant tension between staying to protect your carry and moving to help the team win. You are trying to manage 4 different egos. You also have to make sure no one walks into a bush without vision. It is a thankless job, but the game is unplayable without a good support. Every role has its own quest and its own specific nightmares, but they have to work together to win. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.